In a world where nuclear war has begun, vampires fought back in super real 3D.
Hey guys, it's been a while since I made one of these. I am sorry. I know the demand has been high. I've had tens of people message me with complaints, wondering what I was up to. So here I am to tell you what I've been kind of doing and what's upcoming. So the reason I haven't made any videos, I've been so busy. I've been filming a ton of different projects over the course of the summer. I know we're in September now, so wrapping up the summer and then heading into the fall. Through winter, and even actually the first quarter of next year is pretty mapped out where it sits right now, which is fantastic. I remember not all that long ago, just a couple of years ago, it was living completely month to month, project by project, and so to actually have roughly like 7-ish months mapped out into the future is fantastic, and it's taken a lot of work to get this far into it to get the demand that high for my services, which is great. And part of that also has to do with doing larger projects. I think when I first started, I was kind of more aiming at volume. Not that I didn't want to do a good job, I wanted to, but as you do the job more, you learn more things that you can do to make a video better, both in pre-production planning and then in the post-production end. And the filming obviously goes by, that's the quickest part. The planning and the actual editing, that's by far where the majority of the time is spent. And anyway, you figure out how to do so many more things over the course of time that when you take on a project, you know that you want to do all those things because that's going to make the video better. So it does involve raising rates in order to accomplish that feat. But at the end of the day, that's really, it ultimately is better for everybody because you end up with a better product. I end up with a better portfolio piece and feel satisfied as an artist as well, getting to put my full foot forward and trying to make the best thing that I possibly can. And even short projects that seem simple, I still have to tackle them with at least X amount of check marks, checked off that I got to do these parts of the process that really polish out the video. So you raise your standards as you grow your business and stuff, but also it creates more work for everybody if that's the mentality that you have. Not only is your client happier, you're more fulfilled as an artist, and you grow your skill set more because you get the opportunity to grow more. But also it frees up more work for everybody because I can take on realistically, I kind of take on now about 10 to 15 projects per year, and that fills up the whole year, and each one varies in size, so it's roughly about that. If I can get that many gigs lined up, then my year is mapped out. Now I don't have the whole year mapped out, but I've got enough work that I can stay busy from now through April, which is fantastic. So anyway, what have I been doing? I went to, on summer happened, I started off with the Learning Pavilion, formerly known as the Dick Hauser Center. I had made a bunch of videos for them in the past, and now they had rebranded to the Learning Pavilion, so that was a reason to update the videos. Also, they've implemented some new things. They've expanded the place with another building that's on campus. So it's very cool. There's a lot of new things to catch, so I went there, filmed a couple more days, added to the content that we already had, rearranged everything. I had roughly 4 videos for them that were pulled from a full documentary that I made for them and kind of sculpted those. Well, now they have 8 new videos with new content and older content all kind of married together to create what gets the point across as good as possible. All the different things that they cover. You can only do so much in shorter videos, but I think I covered a lot of ground. I'm very happy with how they came out, and they were very happy with them, so that was 8 videos. I went to North Carolina and Virginia. I was initially going to North Carolina to film for Trans Am, but that's been postponed. But in the planning to go to North Carolina, I also lined up some other work with another client that I have here in town known as VR Systems, Voter Registration Systems, and they make all the election hardware and software that's used to check people in during the election. They don't handle the actual vote. They just are making sure that you got the correct ballot and that you can get in and out in a timely manner. If you've used, a lot of you have probably used an EVID system. That's where you swipe your driver's license into a machine and then it kicks out the appropriate ballot, or where the person, the poll worker does that for you. But nonetheless, that is all created from VR Systems here in town. I mean, they pretty much do like all the voter registration stuff in Florida. They have almost every county, and then they've expanded nationwide. So they have other states, and they actually have another facility in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina. And so that's exactly where I was going to film something for Trans Am, which has been postponed, but will still be upcoming soon enough. The date kind of keeps sliding around, but eventually we'll get there, and I'll get that. And eventually, upcoming, I will get to film the official finished Super Duty and Outlaw New Edition Trans Am cars. And once I get to do that and do a couple more interviews with the completed cars, then I will get to make my, hopefully, it'll be roughly like a 3 to 6 minute video that encapsulates the whole concept of what they've done with these incredible supercars that are just nuts, 1,000 horsepower. And then the first 50, there's only going to be 50 made with the Super Duty engine. That's 1,000 horsepower, custom designed by some help in North Carolina. So anyway, we'll get into that another time. Also built my whole new website myself, which I never went to school for website design, but I did go to school for graphic design. And if you know Photoshop, you can use Adobe Muse to create your own website. And so I already had a website, but I was suggested to update it after I got to hang out with Bo Zolland in New York when I was filming for Trans Am. And Bo Zolland is he's the lead artistic designer of the new Super Duty Trans Am, along with Tom Sawyer, which is an in-house designer here in town at the Trans Am Worldwide facility. So I got back, Bo made me some logos, sent them over to me. I was floored that he did it. I had no idea that he was going to do that, and he instigated me creating a whole new site. He helped me raise the bar on myself for that, so I'm very happy with the new website. If you haven't seen it, I'd happily invite you to check it out. I worked really hard on it. It took a whole month, anyway, it came out cool. Also, a lot of pre-planning and coordinating to get all that work lined up for the upcoming months. I've got everything from a full documentary coming up, which will be really cool. It's a documentary for a local band, and that's all I'm going to say right now. So that's going to be really cool, but it's a full-on, it should be like a 30 to 45 minute full documentary based on what all the content we end up with. I had already filmed some of it previously in the past, and now we're about to finish it out. We've got a decent amount more filming to go, so that'll be happening later. I've got multiple music video projects coming up with a couple of different clients, and I'm very excited about those. And I've also got, what else do I have coming up? Well, I've got more work happening for VR Systems. I just actually, good grief, yeah, that was the most recent edit that I did. I ended up making 38 videos that are basically testimonial videos for VR Systems. They range anywhere from pretty much 30 seconds to a little over a minute, and I know that seems short and easy, but it really isn't. It's a lot of work to try and get the precise statement, and it's not just grabbing the statement and throwing it in there. There is some editing involved, and I do a lot to make people make their statements come out as smooth as possible and as clear as possible. And I don't really do it for myself much in these. This is kind of a ramble, but when I'm making a video that I'm being paid for and I can take the time, I do quite a bit of work to get those sentences sounding very smooth. It's a lot of editing tricks to get that to come out. And I don't misrepresent anybody. They all say what they say. But nonetheless, it's definitely manipulated to get it to come out as smooth as it does. And anyway, so I have more work coming up with them. I've got a wedding coming up next year, which I haven't done a wedding in a couple of years. So that will be fun. You think I'm full of it when I say something like that, but actually, like, weddings are totally fun because they're really, really meaningful pieces that you turn into the client at the end. I mean, that's like one of the biggest days of their entire lives, and then you get to be the person that puts together the whole memory. I mean, and reliving it like through a full like movie. I mean, it'll end up being like a half-hour, full cinematic wedding film, and it's absolutely unique and unto them. I mean, the really powerful piece is really meaningful to get to make, and there's a lot of room in there to create fun little storylines and little mini missions, and you know, have fun with it. You know, like, you could just look at it, any of these projects, as standard issue, follow some kind of template guideline, look up what other people are doing. But I prefer, I mean, I'm heavily influenced by other people, absolutely, but I try to watch other things to get my influences rather than the direct thing. In other words, I know that sounds confusing. I don't necessarily look at a documentary to get ideas on how I want to make a documentary. But I might watch a movie of a particular kind that invokes some particular storyline and particular way of being shot and some particular way that it created character depth, and try to pull that as the influence for a documentary or a wedding. You know, and when you start thinking outside the box like that, you start pulling your influences from things that aren't directly categorized with the exact thing that you're making, then you're no longer following this template formula, and it becomes a little bit of mystery hour and a fun adventure to see what you can create. And when you open the doors up to what you can create, then now it's fun. I mean, that's the whole point of this for me, as I want to have as much fun with every project as possible. So I like doing all kinds of different dynamically different videos, because it just always changes up. So just recently I just made a video for my little brother, and he is great at baseball. He plays for Godby, and he's up and coming, and I made him a baseball recruitment video. I want to just make that for him because he deserves it. I want to help out my family, absolutely. And it took some effort to make it, but I'm so happy I got to make it, and I think it's going to really benefit him as an awesome tool that he can use for potential scouts that are on the hunt for somebody of his skill set. But I see very quickly, like, that's a whole other kind of thing that I'd like to make for other athletes. I mean, I'd love to do it for wrestling or football or whatever, because, again, a unique opportunity to bond and meet and interact with coaches and a direct person that's trying to pursue a life goal and help them get there. Okay, sign me up. That's exactly the kind of thing I'm on the hunt for. So anyway, I got those going on. And then I got another, the music video stuff is really cool. There is something that I'm going to be trying to do, and this is kind of the end of the video, but there's something that I'm going to be trying to create, and I want it to be a new way to experience. It's not like a technical thing, it's just a way to execute it, but I want it to be a new music experience. Like, I want it to be a visual thing, and I want it to be music. And I have this very direct concept that I don't exactly want to explain at the moment fully, because I want to make a couple and then kind of explain what the idea is behind it. And I mean, hopefully you'll get that when you watch it. But nonetheless, I have a project coming up towards the end of the year that's going to give me that opportunity. It'll be my first one, and I hope to make another one with a completely different other style of music, just to show the diversity. So I'm excited about that, and just always chipping away at trying to create new avenues. So that's kind of what happened over the summer a bit. I know it's like a tangent. I went left and right, but then also what's upcoming. You know, just a lot of different things. It's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely staying busy. I try to make these when I can. It's not going to be realistic that I release one of these every week. Maybe a couple a month would be really nice. And I think the way that it realistically works is I have pockets. You know, I get a little pocket. The hurricane definitely threw me off this month. So I had to reschedule some stuff. Actually kind of freed up a couple of days just to do one of these, and amongst many other little things that I'm trying to do. So, hope you found that interesting, and if you didn't, whatever. This is my little document about my life, and I think it's going to be cool to look back on it and have my family be able to look back on it, my son, his grandson, see what I was up to at this point in life. So there it is. Take care, guys, and I'll give you another one of these soon enough with some other cool stuff.
Movie Voice.